Hello and welcome. We're looking for $2 million homes around the country, and if you like to visit big cities, we may have the best location in all the country. Here we go, this time, Delaware. So we're going to start out. That is the eventual winner, but we're going to go all the way back to here. So this house is on the south part of Delaware. The nice part is there's a little ferry which gets you across over to New Jersey, so you could go to up along the coast in Atlantic City and all that stuff. So that's kind of a nice location right there. The house itself is a 90s house, and when I show you this, you're going to kind of see it. It's just dated for today's sensibilities. A lot of just kind of generic wood and interior and floorings. Nothing too special. It's got a nice pool, but so in southern Delaware, $1.5 million will get you a house like that. Moving on. So this is, I just want to call it the brown house because the inside they took some color chances, but the outside being brown is just kind of funky. It's also in the nearby area down here, which must be very popular. So it is. There's not much land for it. It's in the city. The outside just isn't that spectacular. It has kind of some nice landscaping, but the interior, they tried to go fancy on some rooms and had molding and the floors and everything. And then from the brown outside, they added lavender. It was just weird. An odd transition, a very small kitchen, and then they go to the basement, and for some reason they totally jazzed up the basement. So they finished it and added this bar area with a big red couch and connected to a viewing area and a zebra skin rug. I guess I don't know if it's real or not, but it's just a weird combination going back and forth. But that's been on the market for quite a long time. This house is near the water, so they don't have down here. It's kind of odd. They have like your traditional South Carolina beach, and this is kind of a new construction, by the way. So the interiors and the kitchen and everything is very clean, very well put together. This is something you would find on our friend HGTV. Quite often. Just very open, very light and airy. A good choice. But I guess this kind of shows it that it's almost like you don't go out to a beach, you go out almost to a wetland. And the other kind of striking thing is this house is, and a couple of these that we show are like up high. So it just has the indication that sooner or later this area is going to flood. But like, this is some of the property to give you an idea that I guess there's a little bit of beach, but that's like another house. So it's just an odd property. So where the beach is another house. So here's the lot line for this guy. There you go. But if you want to be near water, you could be near water in Delaware. So this next one is, you could drive to water. So it's also south, but it's not, you're not walking to water. You'd have to drive somewhere, and there's no beaches nearby. That's the only reason it got knocked down a little bit. I like the interior of it a lot. Again, this is kind of up on, almost seems like stilts. So there's just the presumption that sooner or later it's going to flood. But I like this style. I like the beams in the ceiling. I like the use of the rock on the fireplace. It had a modern rustic feel I liked. I liked the kitchen a lot. It looked like it was for a family that really likes to cook, and I enjoyed all that, and that was a nice part. It was very open from the cooking area and around. Oh, here's the other funky thing, was these fans. I'd never seen these type fans before, and so it comes down and splits out, and they just go in these directions, and the bed's kind of interesting too. So that was kind of different, but I like it. It probably makes sense. It probably forces the air down a little bit better than some other ways. So I like the layout of this house quite a bit. Moving on, this is the getaway house. Usually I have at least one house that's if you just kind of want to get away from it all. And I believe it has about 5.8 acres. But when you see the pictures of the area, and it is down here as well. Like I said, it's very popular. There's a big cluster of high-price homes. But this is your area. This is like some of your property. Again, it looks more like wetlands. And it's just they kind of say have your canoe and kind of go out on the water. So it looked like a very great place just to get away from it all. So it has this little walkway out to your canoe and your water area, and it's probably that as the tide goes, the water's coming in and out. But I also like the landscaping around the house itself. It all looked very put together and very peaceful. And even a private little shed was very nice, almost zen-like. Oh, I didn't see this before. Oh yeah, your private little place to take a nappy poo. So it just if you need that area just to get away and detox, this looked like a nice option. The inside is not real fancy. I think if you just plucked out the inside, no one would say it was $1.7 million, but I think this one is the land and everything too that goes with it. Speaking of the land, this house is definitely, the interior is not my favorite, but I did like the location. So this one again is on that area down here in southern Delaware, but it just kind of had the best. It was near the ferry to go over to New Jersey and Atlantic City and all that, but it was right next to all of this green area. You have a state park that and a beach nearby, and it's just like if you wanted to live on the water, this would be kind of your better option. The interior though is very plain. Does not say $1.8 million, so it would be a great place. I think for if you had family to come visit, there's 5 bedrooms, but the interior is all very plain. So that's a little bit unfortunate. So if I could pluck this house and move it over there, I would. That would be much more ideal. But I do like the location of it, and so that kind of makes up for it. Next up, this is an old farmhouse, and it's kind of exciting. It's been on the market for 247 days. So, but it was built in 1725, and I can't quite figure out on 2 acres why it's not moving. But the only thing I could think of is that the houses around it, if you can see, are like $500,000 houses. So do you really want to be the big dog in the small neighborhood? I don't know. But this is located in Wilmington, Delaware. So that's where it is. And why I say this is probably the best location in the country if you like visiting big cities is that it's 2 hours away from New York. It's like 45 minutes away from Philly. It's an hour and a half to Baltimore and 2.5 to Washington. So you're within 2.5 hours of all the sports, culture, food, everything, commerce. If you're a business person and you're looking to go back and forth, that's a great place. You're an hour and a half to Atlantic City, so you could go, either have fun in the casinos or go down to the beaches along that area. So it's just a excellent location. And this house, it was just really interesting. The house itself is very, it's older, it's compartmentalized. They have upgraded parts of it, and some of it is pretty nice, and then some of it still looks like it needs some work. I mean, for this day and age, those are kind of low ceilings, and not everybody wants that look, and there still may be more to do. But if you like the rustic, the rustic feel. You're still in a neighborhood. Wilmington's, you have a smaller town, so you have civilization. But if you want the big city, it's only 2 hours away or 45 minutes for Philly. So the only thing I could think of is just the rooms are a little bit awkward. But overall, compared to some of these others, you're not going to have to redo too much. It kind of looks ready to go. Now, the tastes are all over the place. I'm just flipping through these rooms, and it goes, many different ways. I'm not sure where this was. This is a second kitchen somewhere. So this may be a guest house. Yeah, it's looking like a guest house. So you have a guest house too, so you can have family come over. And then you have this huge, huge, huge barn. And this is the upstairs of said barn that has a basketball goal in it. And it looks like they have a badminton thing set up or volleyball. So a great place to play in the winter, or you can have events or whatever. They don't quite do that barn justice, but there's that in the center must be the little guest house. So I'm a little surprised this hasn't moved, and but that would be a great choice. But this one kind of beat it out. I think the house itself is spectacular. It's located also in that area, but it's like right next to a state park and this museum and garden library area. And there's 2 golf courses, and you got another art museum down there in Wilmington. And then, like I said, you're just not that far away from the best of the Eastern Seaboard. So it's just crazy. So it's a great option. But then this house itself has 3 acres. So, you're not up against other people. It was just warm, lots of wood, special crafted wood and the rock. You're like nature indoors. It had a good clean lines all through the house. This was a bit, I mean, I think I would like it because the kitchen is open up. So I think it would keep it from feeling so cramped in there, and then you got the windows looking to the outside. So even if you're cooking all day, you can still look outside. And it's just, it's just a very warm house to me. Even the attention in the bedrooms to the wood along the ceiling was very fun. And you have a TV and a fireplace. So, of course, you have to have your bathroom up against the windows because, that's the thing. Got to show everybody your business. So that one is, let me scroll on down. That was just the best house. Because even if you were holed up in a pandemic, this would be a great place to be, So, and it has a pool and a tennis court too. Oh, by the way, they didn't even bother showing the pool. So it was like, oh yeah, it has a pool and a tennis court. I don't know why they thought the tennis court was the big draw, but there, you have all this stuff, so you can get away, have your privacy, and then if you want, go into the city, and it's not too bad. So anyway, there you go. I hope you enjoy. See you next time.